Welcome to Dugout Chatter. We are going to see how America's pastime has shaped generations of young men and women into the determined people they are today.
Baseball.
Baseball is my favorite sport.
All right, we starting it?
I don't know.
Hey guys, welcome back to another Dugout Chatter.
All right. I guess this is the
Episode 18. I'm practicing. You good?
Justin wanted this to be 14 for other reasons. Well, actually, for those of you watching, right there.
Right there.
Yeah, that's a camera zoom.
What is
I feel like doing it.
What is the mascot?
It reminds me of Clemson.
So what is this?
We did steal that
Yeah?
from Clemson.
So what is it? A bear?
Wildcat.
Wildcat?
Hardy County
Yeah,
Wildcats.
Bobcat.
No, Bobcats were elementary school. Once you go to high school, you get to be a Wildcat.
Oh, okay. So you get an upgrade of cats.
Upgrade the cats.
Yeah. So
Cats.
what you're saying is you guys are pussies.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
The big meow.
We were.
Big meow.
The big meow.
Yeah.
You gotta be kidding
Whenever
me.
you guys felt
Yeah.
threatened at the plate, you're just like,
Yeah,
this guy's throwing hard.
we weren't the biggest jungle cat, but we were a cat. It's pretty open book. It's like just a wild cat.
So we
don't know what we were. Could have been a lion.
We
Or
were
wild.
Chief alumni.
Yes.
You know?
Yeah, well, that's
Yeah, it's
that's
just-
a little insensitive. It hurts my
Yeah.
feelings.
They probably can't do that anymore.
I guess that happened with the Indians too. Sorry, Guardians.
The Guardians.
Oh, dude,
I'll never call them the
I heard
Guardians.
this hilarious bit. I forgot the stand-up, but he's got this bit about how the Indians went to be the Guardians, and he's like, you know what's worse than that? Pirates. They rape and pillage people.
They're really awful.
Like, nobody cares about that.
Well, I don't think anyone cares because the Pirates suck.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, they started out good this season, didn't they?
Yeah, they did.
I couldn't keep up
did.
with
I don't
them.
even know who they got anymore.
Well, they got Andrew McCutcheon back at the beginning of the year.
How old is he, though?
Speaking of
He's like
this, the old
35,
Wildcats,
36.
Town North, where Andrew McCutcheon played. Saw him play in high school. Hit a home run at this field.
Oh, yeah?
I was like probably 10, 11 maybe.
Yeah, no,
I can't remember the age I was, but he was a baller in high
Dude's
school.
still playing pretty good. He was a
know.
two-sport athlete. I mean, he's like 5'10", built like a brick shit house. That man is strong.
Yeah, what did he play? Football?
Yeah, I think football, baseball.
Yeah, he was a freak. Fort Meade, man, puts out some athletes. It's a small little town in
Fort
Polk
Meade.
County. Fort Meade. It's like just south
I
of
know-
Lakeland. That's where he's from. But they put out quite a few like high-level collegiate football players, a couple baseball players, but he's, by far the best.
There's a guy on the Tigers. He was at he's from the same town my girlfriend is, Eustis, Florida. I think his name's like Kerry Carpenter.
I recognize that name.
Yeah, he's a newer guy. No, first baseman or right fielder.
Oh.
It's like his first or second year in the league, but he was setting on fire. He actually had a pretty good season. Let me pull up his numbers.
So what's crazy is there's like how many baseball players are there? There's
There used to be 750.
MLB, yeah.
There's 750 plus another 30 because there's 26-man roster now, so 780.
really? I
Yeah,
didn't
it's
know they did
26-man
that.
roster because these new age pitchers they got to throw 4 innings.
They want the bullpen to be stacked.
So it goes all to pitching?
Yeah,
Everybody's plus one to the
everyone's
bullpen?
plus one's a pitcher.
But you got 700 some guys. It's like
Yeah.
the likelihood. You're probably still in a little bit with your age group. Me and Giffin, guys that I graduated high school with are now veterans in the league, and it's like
crazy, yeah.
makes me feel old.
People have
you forget how many
big
people you played
contracts.
against or with that you're like, oh yeah, they made it. Like,
Yeah.
you just forgot they were working their way up to AA.
That actually
AAA.
happened. I didn't know Pete was in pro ball until someone was like, oh, he's pitching with the Brewers.
I know, and he might get a ring this year because he pitched one inning with the Diamondbacks.
One and a third.
One and a third.
Yeah, one and a
right?
third.
Was it
And-
the playoffs?
No, he didn't.
No,
make
so
the-
he was on the.
Yeah, what happened with
He was
that?
on the Brewers opening day roster. He was actually the setup man for Devin Williams,
Okay.
and then he ended up getting traded. And the guy he got traded for was actually he was a big league player on a multi-million-dollar contract. So it was a pretty notable trade in that regard.
Yeah, it was like a $4
But
million guy for
he
his
was
league
just
minimum.
he went up down a little bit.
How old is he? He's our age.
He's my
or-
age. Yeah.
29.
He graduated the year after I did.
Yeah.
So he's been with the Brewers organization up until then, or did he float
Yes,
out?
Brewers up until then.
Unsigned free agent.
Yeah, unsigned free agent.
Yeah.
Played for a D1 school.
What happened to the Brewers? When the Brewers,
They were.
They got
NL.
they got knocked off by the Diamondbacks.
Are the
in the
Diamondbacks
playoffs.
in NL Central too, or NL West?
Central.
So it's the same division.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah,
So-
I don't keep up too much with the National League.
So episode 18 and today's suspect is
Kinda just got into it.
Justin.
That's me.
Yeah. So where do you want to start? Long journey.
Man,
Long journey to the
everybody's
garage.
journey's long, but
to the garage, the Beat Lab.
Yes.
Yeah.
Be that for those of you watching.
Yeah.
We are in a garage.
All the time. Spend a lot of time
So,
here.
really quick, the Beat Lab is Braden's little home studio, and for the longest time we played Nazi Zombies in here, and our gaming chair was his lawnmower.
Lawnmower's also been like a front row seat to a live show.
Yeah.
I won't lie, it was pretty sick.
Yeah, this one, man. We've had the driveway full of people while we're playing
Yeah.
live music here,
Yeah.
getting a little rowdy.
Just got to back the lawnmower out, get the gas smell out,
Get the gas out,
and get her going.
So, Justin, you from here?
I'm from Central
West Coast
Florida.
Oh, you're from Central Florida?
A little town called Wauchula. Not a whole lot going on there. One high school. And yeah, I played baseball and football in high school. Clearly, I was a better baseball player, but a lot of times I had more passion for football because it was more aggressive. But went on to play college baseball and played a year for community college. Did the community college thing and still enjoyed it, but had some terrible coaches and some fun times. But just one of those things, memories.
So, how old were you when you started playing ball?
I think average 4 or 5. When
You
got
start
first-
playing football and
they let
baseball
you
at the
in.
same time?
No, I didn't play football until 1 year or 2 years of junior high, and then all 4 years in high school.
Okay.
I think that's probably why I liked it and had more passion for it in high school, because it was all new to me. I'd been playing
Yeah.
baseball, thought that I'm good enough. Me and Giffin have talked about this, or Braden. I'm sorry, y'all are both Giffins.
Yeah,
But,
get
We're
confusing
used to that. And
we and him
All of
differ
us
a
were
lot
GIF.
ways.
By the time I came through, I was little GIF.
Yeah, right. So me and Braden have talked about it before, but he always talks about he worked really hard in high school. He was always in the cage, wanted to be good. I hate myself for not being like that. I would barely ever practice when I had to. I did the bare minimum, but I maintained. I could have been so much better, but I wasn't because I didn't have the work ethic. I would rather have, gone and drank with my friends in an orange grove somewhere than to get in a batting cage on a
It's easy to
Thursday
do
night.
that.
Yeah.
But I kind of hated guys like you because you still hit doubles. And I'm
Oh
like,
my
fuck you,
God, I
man.
know.
I'm like, God.
'Cause, like-
there's one guy I played high school with. I don't want to bring up, but just all the time in the world, no work ethic, and was still a stud. And I'm like, and
Those
just
guys are
never tried.
those are definitely some of the hardest to play with.
Yeah.
It's like, dude, I got up at 5 today to work out, and you showed up
Right.
drinking. Or you
Yeah.
were fucking shit faced last night. You go to school and show up tonight, and you're hitting third.
Yeah.
I wasn't that bad. I mean, I put the work in when I had to.
That's an extreme version, but
So I
yeah.
look back, I'm like, I wish I
yeah.
would have spent more time in the
I
cage.
feel like everyone's played with that guy, most minimal effort,
Yeah,
and like,
yeah,
dude, if
yeah.
like even when I coached, it's like, man, like if this kid hit the gym, like,
Yeah.
as a sophomore, you could be on varsity, like
Yeah.
producing.
Just care.
So what was
Okay.
you were a catcher all the way through high school?
So no, it's kind of a weird story. I started out. I mean, my whole life I played. Just utility guy, middle infield, caught, pitched.
I think when you're young enough and you're athletic
play
enough, they
everything,
kind of throw you
right?
everywhere.
So you work.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I started catching. I caught my freshman year and sophomore year for varsity. And then, for some reason, my head coach, my junior year, moved me to second base because he thought I'd get better looks from colleges, which, in hindsight, didn't work out at all because I went to college and ended up playing catcher. So it's like, so my
Yeah, we had
senior
some of
year
those
and junior
coaches.
year, I played second base, a little bit of shortstop here and there. But I was a hitter. I hit really good. They could throw me anywhere. In college, I DH'd the first all fall ball and most of the beginning, very early season. I just was DHing, and then they realized I was a better catcher than the guy they've had sitting there, and I started playing catcher every game. I've had one day off a week where I would DH, and the starting catcher would jump in. But yeah, I really liked the catching was my favorite spot because I hated being a defensive player. I liked staying in the box. I want to hit as much as possible. I want to fucking smash the ball. So catching was the next best thing. I didn't have to sit out in left field or third base and hope for a ball once or twice, maybe an inning.
Yeah.
I got just
And how good is throwing a guy out at second?
Oh yeah,
How good is that?
It's the best feeling in the world. I think we talked about this.
hit a double in the gap
Yeah.
or throw a guy out at second.
Yeah.
I
I mean,
what's
it's
a better
comparable
feeling?
to or walk. I mean, trotting around for a home run
Yeah.
is comparable to walking back and adjusting your
Yeah.
mask after you just hose a guy at second base.
got him.
It's just incredible.
Some of the fun ones I had in men's league too is when the pitcher just absolutely yanks a pitch, block it, and the mask flies off a little bit.
Yeah, oh yeah, it's just grittiness to it. That was my favorite.
That's a
thing.
warrior
Yeah.
position too. Everybody looks at their catcher as like the
You're getting a
workhorse.
beating, man.
And then like even in the big leagues, I mean maybe not as much today, but like Posada and every Joe Mauer was an exception, but catchers usually get away with having a lower batting average because of the workload they take day in and day out.
Yeah.
You
And
could
it's
hit
a
you could
valuable
hit 240 and it's just block the ball, throw guys out.
As long as
But-
you
Yeah.
and command pitch.
Exactly,
A lot
yeah.
of pitchers need a good
Dude,
commanding
I
catcher.
mean,
That's why in my mind, Yachty's one of the probably.
Oh, he is the best. Yeah,
I mean,
the most elite.
hot take. I think he's the best catcher in baseball history. Just
I agree.
From the perspective
I don't know.
how he could catch a game, but more importantly, call a game.
And he had a whole entire city on his back, man.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, I got a lot of connections to St. Louis, but
I saw him play in St. Louis. It was one of the coolest things.
Yeah.
He was hitting 7th, standing ovation every time.
yeah. Yeah.
And it's like a May game against the Pirates.
Yeah, he was
people
just-
are like, fucking love this guy.
Yeah, I mean, something about him. My wife's from St. Louis. My in-laws and family, or her family, still all live there. So
Yeah, they're big Cardinals fans.
yeah,
like,
big Cardinals fan.
Big baseball
I'm a
city.
kind
You've been
of
to
an
a game
honorary
there, right?
Cardinals fan. No, I've been to the stadium, but
Oh, yeah,
I've tried
out of
like 3
season.
times, but just never works out.
Yeah.
They're never there when I'm like it's
Yeah.
always an away game or off season when I'm in St. Louis. But I'd love to go. I'm sure I will eventually. But yeah, it's just like that whole entire community. I mean, I'm not community. The city in itself is.
Yeah, it's all baseball.
You think of baseball, you think of St. Louis Cardinals, and they're like, oh, Yachty. I mean, now you got
Pujols,
Goldschmidt,
Edmonds, Rowan,
Edmonds,
Bench.
David Eckstein was actually he was a big part.
McGuire,
Like,
of course. I mean,
Yeah.
that was the
No,
biggest.
bench was Reds. What am I talking about?
Guys like Eckstein, though, he was huge for the Cardinals. He was their World Series MVP in 06.
David Free's record just got broken by what's the
Adolis
next photo?
Garcia.
Adolis Garcia, yeah, David.
Yeah.
About that.
David
20
Freese.
something- David Freese, man.
mean, dude.
Cardinals legend.
That has to be probably like the most clutch performance in baseball history because you're out away from losing the World Series.
I'm not familiar. You'd have to refresh my memory on
Yeah, it
this.
was.
It was 2011. 2011.
Yeah,
That's when
there's-
they won, right?
It was when Neftali Feliz.
Oh.
Nelson Cruz misses the ball in
Yeah.
right field, double, and then he walks it off.
Yes,
and
yeah,
Joe
yeah,
Buck says, "We will see you tomorrow night."
And that would have been the final game.
Yeah. And then they
And
won.
they came back and won the next day.
Yeah.
Like you got to give them a lot of credit
Man.
for that too. Not only did they stay alive,
I was just telling Kevin, we were talking postseason baseball. We just went to that Rays game, the wild card game.
Yeah.
And I was like, man, there's so much drama when you follow baseball closely with people's personal life stories and like injuries and 0 for 15s and this guy's mom's got cancer and this and like all
Yeah.
these things. And it's like baseball's like soap opera for like grown ups. Like there's
Yeah.
always drama.
Yeah.
I was actually talking with Kieran about this the other night. One of the coolest stories when the Giants were like on their run in the 2010s, Travis Ishikawa had 25 home runs in his 10 years in the big leagues. Like the most he hit in a season was 5, and he had a walk-off home run to send the Giants to the World Series.
That's like Bucky Dent, you know.
Yeah, it's
same
like-
thing.
It's the next guy up, man.
Yeah.
You never know who you're going to. The right pitch, right time, right moment.
It could be anybody. You
and
know?
it could have been a lot of guys who we never heard of because they just didn't do it. It was
Yeah.
an inch away from being a
Right spot, right
Yeah, and
time.
like I talked about you the other day because we had Boosty on the last episode. He has a World Series ring because he was a hitting coach for the Marlins during '97,
Nice.
and Griffey doesn't have a ring.
Yeah, how crazy
is that?
Yeah.
And if you'd ask anybody, I mean, even me, if you'd have said, "Does Griffey have a ring?" I'd take me a minute to think about it.
Right.
I might say, "I don't think so."
It's the same
Yeah.
thing when Nolan Ryan doesn't have a Cy Young. Right?
Yeah.
Like,
But does it really matter? I mean,
No.
it's cool, but like,
Yeah,
a lot of
yeah.
people, he's
Yeah.
still going to be. He's still a Hall of Famer. It's all that
Yeah,
matters.
still
Like,
630 bombs.
Yeah, but it would be nice if he had something on his mantle
Sure,
at home.
yeah.
I'm sure he thinks about it.
He-
Yeah.
I'm sure he's got plenty of awards.
Yeah.
He's got like 10 gold gloves,
Not
2
a-
MVPs.
not a World
yeah, but
Series.
I'm
Not a
sure
World Series.
Not a World Series.
I feel like being that good of a player, though, it can sometimes be a double-edged sword because, like, I mean, it was kind of his choice to go to Cincinnati, but you can get locked up in an organization because they're trying to build around you. Like,
Yeah.
look at the Angels. The Angels
Yeah.
with Trout. They've tried building around him, still nothing.
I don't know when it's going to happen.
I think he's played
if they
2
can hold on to
postseason games.
both those guys.
He's played 3 postseason games, lost them all, and has 1 hit.
Well, you
Yep.
saw him in the World Baseball Classic too. It's like
Kind of
didn't have the factor. I mean, it was
Yeah,
like he
kinda
was supposed to. I
choked.
mean, he just kind of choked a few times, and
He still played pretty well.
he played well. But
Yeah,
it's
but
like,
there's some big spots, you know.
But he hasn't
and then you
been
hope
in
a
those
guy
moments.
like a guy like that comes
Well,
up in a big spot.
I think the biggest difference with that is Japan took it a lot more. Like, they always take international
Well,
tournaments.
I think
way
USA
more
is starting to do it
serious
more
than
and
others.
more.
better at baseball.
Yeah,
I think
man,
Japan
they put
is-
some guys out.
Yeah.
man. They
Well,
put some
Japan is
guys
because
out.
for the more traditional game, you know, getting hits, putting guys on, stealing bases,
Yeah.
bunts, like they play a more fundamental game than we do because like American baseball players sit around waiting for the long ball because that's
Yeah.
what the
'Cause
analytics
that's what we
tell
want
you.
to see. That's what the American people
Yeah.
want to see.
Big and flashy, yeah.
I don't feel like it's the analytics as much as it is entertainment value. Like we've talked about
You
this
sell
a lot.
tickets.
Like,
You sell tickets.
like Kyle Schwarber, like yeah, don't get me wrong, he hits 40 home runs, he hits moonshots, but like the dude hits a $190, and I'm always hesitant to say how good of a ball player he is because at the end of the day, it's a one-tool player.
yeah,
Yeah.
it's tough, man. You know,
It's definitely an interesting discussion. But like,
me and Justin were watching a lot of College World Series stuff. It was
Yeah.
it was the first year me and him got back into the baseball, like at the same time.
You want to tell us the
Yeah,
strange
go ahead,
start?
go ahead,
Yeah, you start out, man.
Oh, I forget what I was going to say. Now I was going
Oh,
somewhere
okay.
with that.
college
World
World
Series.
Series.
Oh, I was just going to say with the as far as the baseball is like it. it's a different thing. Like all these guys are playing, huge contracts kind of dilute the beauty of the sport. These college guys are so passionate and like, and then maybe it's like we were pretty relatively close to that. Like that could have been us. Maybe that's why I liked it so much. But it was like
we were that person more than what we see on
exactly.
Yeah.
But also they're playing like hard baseball, getting guys over, sack flies, ground ball right side,
and all those games. I mean, the whole College World Series was like down to the 8th and 9th innings. All the games,
intense.
like it wasn't. It was equal playing fields no matter what program it was. And it's like, that's fun to watch. Every night you got 3 games a day. You can see of like down to the 8th and 9th. Some would run away, but it's like just guys playing hard.
I love watching international baseball.
And also, one more thing on the college thing is some of those guys last time they were going to play, man. So they're putting it all out. They're putting it all out there.
Well, an interesting thing, like I was saying with international baseball. So baseball was in the Olympics in 2020. Then obviously COVID pushed it back to 21. Mm-hmm. I went to a game in Port St. Lucie. It was USA and Venezuela. It was like I've been to like my fair share of games throughout my life, and it was the last game I've ever been to. I mean, granted, I haven't been.
Was this in Port St. Lucie?
Yeah, I haven't been to a playoff game, granted, but there's about 6,000 people there. But the energy was fucking palpable because like everyone there is like cheering for their country.
Tell you what, the Rays didn't have that.
Yeah, and it's also another level. And like one cool thing about it is like guys who grew up watching like Scott Kazmir, Edwin Jackson, Todd Frazier, Anthony Gose. Like they're on their last leg, trying to get back into the big leagues or just playing for tomorrow. So
Scott Kazmir's still playing.
He was playing a couple years ago. But like, how cool is that? Like. Like you're saying, it could be their last game, so it's like more is at stake.
Yeah.
And then I feel like it's different when you're playing for USA and not an organization that's paying you millions of dollars when you're living your best life. You know what I mean?
Yeah. And a lot of those guys this year didn't even they've ducked out of playing. I mean, who was it? It was like 3 guys. It was
because
Bryce Harper didn't play because he didn't.
Well, he had Tommy John.
Oh yeah,
he had Tommy John.
But there was a couple guys that were like
some
the
people
reason
are like
was their coach didn't want to.
Yeah, like some people or some organizations are like, no, we don't want you playing.
Yeah, it's like
we want you at spring training.
Japan's doing that? No, that's why.
Japan was like, Japan's like, all right, who is the best fucking guy on each team? You're going.
Yeah.
And I remember they had one catcher who specifically, like they were talking about this on the broadcast. He was one of the best defensive catchers, but he could bunt really well. That's why they sent him.
Yeah, they're really good at bunting.
Yeah, because Japan bunting's everything.
And it works. I mean, the games I watched, they would bunt in crucial situations, get the job done, and it worked.
Yeah, and like I was saying, a huge thing about baseball is you want to put pressure on the other team because you'd be surprised how much you put the ball in their face and force them to make a throw. Because it takes out, there's a lot more moving pieces.
Oh, yeah.
Challenge them to just make fundamental plays.
Yeah. And they're good at it, but everybody messes up.
Yeah, everyone. It's going to come back to get you eventually.
Yeah.
But going back to your playing career, what were some of your highlights?
Man, I mean, like I said, I was a good hitter. I saw the ball well. I think catching helped me when I started catching more often, like in high school or in college.
Point. Yeah,
I saw the ball. I saw pitches. I had really good
more pitches than anybody.
I mean, I was in JUCO, so I mean, we had guys that could pitch 90.
JUCO's gotten so much more legit.
Like the pitchers were all the best because they only want to go for 1 year so they could get drafted. So we had 2 or 3 on our team that were
and a lot of people
could have gone
JUCO,
4 year, but they didn't want to.
And a lot of people with JUCO, they go there so they can go to a bigger school too.
Exactly,
it's like the next stepping stone.
So I saw a lot of good pitchers. I caught them. I learned to see a lot of different pitches laying in the strike zone, and that really helped my eyes in the batter's box. So I hit really well. As far as highlights, man, I push a lot of shit out, so I can't remember every little thing. But I mean,
this is notorious for Justin. So we work together, and then like we'll be a lot of times in the morning at shift change. We'll be talking about calls, and then it'll be something that Justin was definitely on, and he'll like, what?
I kind of forgot. He's like, I completely forgot.
I totally forgot about that one. He's just like it was like a pretty significant call that it's just funny.
But as far as I have one pretty funny story, but one of the biggest highlights I ever had, which was immediately followed by like one of the biggest upsets of my life, was I can't remember who we were playing, like Indian River or something, and I think it was like a runner on second. We were down a run, like 7th inning or something, and I hit a bomb in left field, score 2. I think it was my first college home run. I was like, trotting around in the dream state like we've all been in.
Yeah.
Next guy up. It was like 2 outs. Next guy up. Grounds out. Blah blah blah. For some reason, they got me playing third base this game because I think somebody was hurt. I'm playing third base. Somehow they get the runners around. I think it's bases loaded, or maybe first and third. Easy ground ball right to me, third base. Hits me in the chest. Bobble it, get up, throw it in the dirt at first base. 2-runner
Gets
score.
picked? No pick?
No, yeah, maybe you'd have been
Dude,
up
I
there.
would've
You
got
would've
the
got
pick,
it.
dude.
I think it was unpickable. It was like it was probably a stretch and a hell of a
Yeah, one of those
Okay.
where you yank to the
just
side
like,
and bounces.
so I just hit a home run to get up, and then I make this play in 2-runner score. So now they're back up.
Yeah, man, I
And
remember-
we
I
ended up
remember-
losing the game. It's just like it's ups and downs. Yeah, I don't
dude,
ever
that
remember
is
finishing
baseball.
on and up.
Ah, man.
And I'm
Yeah,
sure
me
I
neither.
did, but I don't like that. Only sticks with me. That kind of stuff is when I walk and I'm like, everybody hates me.
Yeah.
Coaches hate me.
I remember I struck out my last high school at bat and my last college at bat.
Really?
It was
I couldn't tell you. I don't remember
Yeah,
what
man,
I even did.
Oh, man, whatever.
Yeah, my last high school bat was a fly out to right field.
At least you hit it.
Yeah, put it in the fucking
Dude,
field.
I might have hat tricked.
Make a play.
in my
Yeah.
college one. That was a.
So actually, that kind of reminds me of a funny story. So when I played in high school, like my senior year, I was predominantly a second baseman, pitched a little bit too.
Yeah.
And then me and my buddy had this expression, right side's a no-go, because I had like an amazing year defensively. Like I was kind of vacuum at second, getting
Yeah.
guys out at first. My buddy played right field, kind of the same. So that was our thing. Right side's a no-go. And then last game of the year, it's a regional game against Jupiter High School. My first at bat. I'm in the box, feeling good. I hit well down the stretch, got consistent playing time. So I hit like a little knuckling line drive, and it's like two seam and it floats.
Oh, yeah.
And then it bounces up. I hit it up the middle pretty well. Second baseman comes over, backhands it off of one hop, and then throws me out at first. I'm just like, and all I hear is Franco yell, "Nice swing!" And I was like, "Oh, that felt pretty good."
Yeah.
And then,
Doesn't matter now.
But anyway, I'm like, fuck. Hats off, you made a great play. My next time up, I'm a little late on a fastball, but I lash it really hard to first baseman, stabs and makes a catch. I go back in the dugout, my buddy's like, right side's a no-go for them too.
Yeah. So you were a hitting pitcher in high school?
Yeah.
I played second too.
Yeah,
I guess everybody in high school hit and pitch most of the time.
My junior year, I mostly pitched. Then my senior year, I started playing the field more.
What'd you enjoy more?
Hitting, definitely. I pitched to get playing time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I've never been a pitcher, and probably the last time I pitched a game was maybe 12, 13 years old. Like I've never been on the mound as an adult playing, or not adult, but into the sport where
Yeah.
you're actually competing.
Yeah, like my junior year,
And
pitched.
I had no desire.
Yeah.
It just seems so. It's just the headache of being a pitcher, and when you're starting
Yeah.
to play against guys who can hit the ball, you
Yeah.
gotta be really good not to be down all the time. I mean, you're gonna get roped every now
Oh
and then,
man,
unless you're just
there's
a
a lot of
freak,
hard
right?
lessons in there.
Yeah, like you told me, my ball moves weird.
Yeah, McKay was elusive, if anything. He's just generally a weird guy anyway. So imagine him throwing a
That's
baseball.
why I pitched.
Yeah, I would hate you. I would definitely hate you. I hit better when somebody could throw 95.
Yeah, throw me with good mechanics and like over the
with the
top.
ball just where you're
Like-
you start piecing me up, man. You're gonna
My velocity
live in my
was
head.
probably, I'd say, like slightly below, maybe like for high school average varsity, like I'm mid 70s, maybe average to a little
He's
below average.
harder now than you ever had.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I also have more size on me, but fuck, what was I gonna say? Yeah, my ball moved weird because kind of I feel like with the shorter
He throws
guys,
a splitter
weird
too.
mechanics.
He throws a splitter.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
weird.
yeah,
That's a
weird
hard
mechanics.
pitch to
Because with
find.
righty,
Yeah, I don't even know how you throw
with
that
short
for a
guys, the
strike.
ball gets on you a little quicker. My ball moved, and I could command a pretty good curveball.
You
So
throw a changeup?
no, just fast.
Toughest
In
pitch
high
ever.
school,
Yeah, splitter takes over the changeup.
my
Throw it for
splitter
a
was more like a
strike.
split change. My splitter knuckled. Like some
Splitter,
people
split
even told me they
change,
thought it was a
whatever.
knuckleball, and they
Well,
thought
if
my
it comes out right, it is a
yeah,
knuckleball, right?
and some people thought my four seam was a two seam. So like my ball moved kind of weird because I think I
He's pronated more than most
honestly,
guys.
I think I had shitty mechanics because I'd start here
Yeah, I
and then
mean,
like come
everybody's
out.
So did Mariano Rivera.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it just cut.
There's very few guys who can throw the ball straight where their arm and wrist do the same exact thing
Yeah.
as the next guy. Like everybody's
Hey, man,
pitch
if I'm
is gonna
pitching,
be a
man,
little
I don't
different.
want my ball to be straight. I don't care.
no.
Spin it up. I don't care if everything
There's no
looks
reason.
like a slider.
There's no reason
Yeah.
to throw it perfectly straight.
No.
It doesn't do anybody any good. It's too easy to hit.
Unless, even if you're blowing guys away, that thing's moving.
Yeah, and the art of it, you can move it 2 inches. You're missing a barrel of a bat. That's all you're trying to
yeah.
do. You're trying to miss
Yeah.
their barrel. They're going to take a good swing on it.
Yeah.
But
Difference between a home run and a pop fly.
I was just gonna say that.
Eighth in a minute.
God, I was just gonna say that. I was gonna be like, hang on, I got something to tell Braden.
I already knew it.
Pat.
I was way ahead of you.
Pat, you know the difference between a home run and an out is?
What?
Eighth of an inch.
It's this movie we watched, 61.
it's-
So we quoted every episode.
what
Yeah.
is it?
61 is the Mickey Mantle, Roger
Yeah, it's-
Maris,
Oh, yeah,
1961
y'all are big
home
Yankee
runners.
guys.
Yeah,
Yeah, it's
this is a great
boy.
baseball story too. You
Yeah,
have to watch
it's
it
Billy
one day.
Crystal. Billy Crystal movie, really well directed.
Oh.
Yeah,
It was actually acted very well for a
Awesome,
baseball
yeah.
movie.
I think I know what you're talking about.
Because the guys who played,
We bring it up every episode. So
Yeah,
we
I
won't
mean,
talk about it.
That must have been the time I just saw a clip a couple days ago of Billy Crystal taking like an at bat at a spring training game for the Yankees.
Yeah, because he's been a lifelong Yankee guy.
Yeah, I think
Yeah,
he's
'cause
probably
he was
promoting
a-
that film. I'm sure.
he was a kid
I don't
during.
know,
or
maybe.
he
Look up
said
the
he was
years,
like 13 during the summer of '61, something like that. I think he's
Yeah.
in like his 70s.
He's old. He's a lot older than I thought.
That's further apart then.
Yeah,
But I just saw him taking an at bat. I mean, I think he grounded out or struck out, but he took 2 good hacks.
Yeah, he fouled one off.
He was late. Obviously,
he
you
was
can't expect to be early on anybody throwing above 90.
Do you want to be the guy who gives up a knock to Billy Crystal?
no.
It'd be pretty funny.
So what's
the dugout would chew.
What's your thought process?
Talk about some dugout chat.
If you're pitching to this guy, are you like, all right, I'm just going to throw some fastballs, and then
he might mix in.
Yeah,
he's going to throw one breaking ball.
Exactly. You got to give him one to show him a big league curveball, but also you don't want to give up a knock to Billy Crystal.
He's pretty. I mean, you got to be really. I don't know. He's got to be really lucky for Billy Crystal to have gotten a hit.
Sure.
Yeah. I mean,
an
average person going in.
He's not going to rope one through the 6-hole or something.
If you give up a hit to Will Ferrell, you should just go fuck yourself.
Yeah. Those clips are fun.
Yeah.
But I mean, if I got in the batter's box right now in a spring training game, I'm getting laced. I mean, I might foul 1 or 2 off.
You'd get overmatched by 90, honestly.
I don't know where the ball is.
I remember being
anymore.
We all played in Florida, right? So we all played baseball all year round, and I remember just
we played against good talent.
Well, yeah,
the best.
But remember going out for Christmas break, or you take a month off and you get in the box and it just doesn't feel right
because you haven't learned it for a second.
You're like, holy shit, this ain't like the cage, like it's like you feel the pressure. There's a tunnel.
Yeah.
And then the weird thing too about playing baseball at that level is like there's no scouting reports. Nobody's hitting out. You're like,
no.
It's a different guy who nobody knows. You're reacting.
You sit on deck and you're like, all right, I got him timed. That's it. And then you get up there and you're like, oh shit, this slider is breaking a lot more. It looked like from the deck on that circle, man. You don't know.
Yeah, because. I remember sometimes you'll just be like on deck, man, this guy's throwing fucking slow. Then you get in the box, like, that's a lot harder in the box.
Yeah. I think baseball is always advantage pitcher. Always.
Oh, definitely, because the best.
But they can't last.
Can't last. No, that's why they go.
They
throw guys 3-4 innings now to start. It's crazy.
I have my own opinions about that. I don't think those pitchers aren't as good as pitchers back then, because come on, you can't tell me that's better than the Kurt Schillings back in the day, the guys now who were striking out 300, finishing their own games, still low 3 ERAs.
There's been some PEDs involved, but
some of them, definitely.
No, definitely, but
hey, was baseball entertaining?
But there's definitely a difference.
But Greg Maddux wasn't on no.
I'm all for bringing PEDs back.
But it's how far can somebody hit a baseball? I want to find out.
Well, you saw Barry
somebody
Bonds.
finally die on.
I know, but dude, Aaron Judge is bigger, and if Aaron Judge never took steroids, which is probably unlikely, but if he never did and he did now. He's way bigger than Bonds is. I bet he develops more bats.
Bonds was tiny, right? I mean,
he was, and then he juiced up, and
he was 6'1", 185 pounds before he.
But he's still he was still Hall of Fame before then.
That's what I'm saying. His skill, but it's the skill set has to be there for you to be good.
People talk about that era, so it's it's McGuire and Sosa, the race, right? They're hitting all these home runs, and Bonds is I'm the best player who ever lived.
That's why
nobody gives a fuck about me.
That's why he juiced.
And just put on a fucking show. He got one pitch a game and he hit a home run every time.
Yeah. But one thing I was going to say about starting pitchers, there's kind of an ego thing when you can't get him out of the game. When you can't get the starter out of game.
Yeah, you get to the 6th inning and that guy's still commanding a game. At that point, you got to he's got to get hurt or something. Something's got to change because he's on top of the world.
I kind of hate nowadays. I'm a little jaded when you see a pitching line and it's this guy dominated tonight. 5 innings, 8 strikeouts. I'm
he dominated for 5.
I'm wow, that's anticlimactic.
Yeah, that's like a middle reliever in the 70s, or the 60s.
But I mean, shit, man, you got to. They baby everybody anymore.
Yeah,
that's what these guys. Well, if their wrist hurts, they're not playing a game. And if a college player's wrist hurts, they're playing.
Oh, yeah.
That's what's funner to watch.
One thing I feel happens at the major league level, because, in 2023, just, if people listen to the podcast years from now, Jose Barrios, he was fucking shoving it up the ass against the Twins. He was 4 innings, 8 Ks, gives up his first knock, and they pulled him. And then Whit Merrifield came out after the game and he said, it wasn't our manager's decision. The analytics department controlled the game and told him to pull Barrios in that moment. Because going through the third time through the lineup, you're more likely to get a hit.
AI.
But guess what? When you gotta I don't know.
Wow. There's so much science that they know that I can't argue sometimes. I don't know.
But I think
there's some intangibles in baseball where
you got to be able to have a feel for the game too.
You got heroes. Let the heroes be heroes.
Exactly. Also, and when your ace is on the mound, you want him in the game as long as he can be in the game.
Let him be in a situation where he's down or where he needs to
And the one thing I always say about pitching, especially when it comes to the playoffs, ride the hot hand. Because if someone's going, if someone's dealing, why would you want to take them
I was going to say the same thing in hitting too, right? if you got a
You're
guy
not pinch hitting Adolis Garcia because he's facing a new pitcher for the first time.
No, the guy's hot, dude. It doesn't matter who it is.
Yeah.
He feed the hot hand.
And
They do it in basketball.
And like some
Guys
stats,
making points.
some stats now with baseball, like this is what I say about OPS plus, because what it does is like this all mystical, God-knowing stat where it accounts for ballpark factor, era, and everything you play in to put everyone on the equal playing field. Hey, that's bullshit because 190 and 300, there's a big difference. So you're taking objective or subjective stats like batting average and making them subjective to someone's power numbers. But at the end of the day, those are two different hitters because they have two different tool sets.
Yeah.
What do you guys think about that?
I'm a Tony Gwynn Arias guy. You know, let's get the hands inside the ball, get a base hit, get on base, manufacture runs. We're trying to win baseball games.
Yeah.
Are we not? Like, the Phillies just waited on home runs, and
if you want to talk about statistics, the team with more hits in the box score, wouldn't they be more likely to win?
for sure. And you're putting, like you said, more pressure on the defense.
Yeah.
To throw errors. Justin just hit a home run, and you hit the ball to him. He threw it in the shitter. That's what you got to put the ball in play.
I just gave those 2 runs I took
If that
back.
guy struck out.
Yeah.
You're a hero
And-
still.
And that's
I didn't have the ball. Best case scenario, nothing happens where I have to touch the ball.
Exactly.
And that goes
It
back
did.
to what we were saying earlier. Challenge the
inch.
defense to make their plays because
Put
like
pressure on him.
Yeah.
Fundamentals is hard. Somebody hits the ball 100 miles an hour at you, it's still hard to catch it and throw them out.
Yeah,
it's
and
still hard to do that.
because I was listening to Brett Boone's podcast, and he talked about the Angels in the early 2000s, and Mike Scioscia was so aggressive with their base running because you got guys like Sean Figgins. You bet you're not trying to be a little quicker to get Sean Figgins out back in the early 2000s, guys like that.
Isn't it
And then-
Sean Figgins?
Oh, yes,
I'm
Sean.
I don't think it is.
Was it
but
Sean?
It's like
Yeah.
C-H-O-N.
C-H-O-N-E.
I think he pronounces it Sean.
Yeah.
Sounds really pretentious.
But anyway, if the infield's in and you got a ground ball, you're fucking rushing to the plate to throw them out, and that's not a natural throw that an infielder's trained to do.
You're throwing
'cause-
against your body, you're moving in, your footwork's got to be
But
good.
then, guess what? You got a guy like Sean Figgins who gets on base, he's fast. You got your Garrett Anderson to hit him around. That's why I think you need guys with bat-to-ball skills and speed.
Yeah.
So your big hitters, because all it takes is a ball to the outfield for them to tag up.
It takes a try. You need different kind of guys, and
It comes down to tool sets, and that's what
Yeah.
balances out a lineup. That's why, like, in the early 2000s, tell me this wouldn't be the dream 1, 2, 3. Ichiro, Jeter, Pujols.
Yeah.
I mean, wasn't that not the lineup in maybe an All-Star game one year? Would that ever have happened?
That's my team
Nah,
in MVP 05.
It's American
AL,
League. Yeah.
Yeah.
The USA World Championship baseball.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But back then, like the MV3, like Roland, Pujols, and Edmonds, they could do it all at the plate.
Berkman, Bagwell, Biggio.
Yeah.
Yeah, Killer Bees.
The Killer Bees.
Yeah, I'm not as up to date on my historic baseball references as y'all, but I remember all these guys. But
Then-
I'm trying to picture like,
But
he was. A
The
good
point
hitter.
being, though, is
Yeah.
you plug any different name in, it's like, are we playing good baseball or not?
Yeah.
Yeah, and
You know?
like we were talking about before we started recording, back to Kyle Schwarber. Why the fuck is he hitting leadoff?
I know. There's probably
Like,
somebody who has
He
this
is fast though for a
metric.
big guy.
Yeah,
he's
but
got,
still,
he's got.
I like guys on with a big bat.
Yeah. He's not.
Turner, Schwarber.
But
at least-
well,
at
you got
least-
Turner on the team. He needs to be ahead of Schwarber no matter what the case is.
Turner gets a knock, steals second.
Yeah.
You got Schwarber up.
No, like put him behind Harper.
I'm saying at least.
Yeah.
At least.
Yeah,
Yeah.
at least.
Because realistically,
No, I agree,
wouldn't you want him behind Harper? Because Harper's got more average, and then Schwarber's got power.
I was the biggest hater of Schwarber with the average. I still don't agree with it. I think it's ridiculous. But one thing that he did bring to the Phillies is, especially in the postseason.
Oh, he's got grit.
Well, that too. But I'm saying the thing that matters the most, the intangible that he has is during a game in the postseason, it matters more that he can hit a home run at any given point. Over 162 games, I want guys to win me games to get to the postseason. But in the postseason, I like this guy because he's like Matt Stairs. You could put him in anywhere.
Oh
and
my
he could
God.
just hit a home run at any
Dude,
point.
watching that Matt-
that's a weapon. you
Watching
know?
that Matt Stairs home run, though, when he was on the Phillies, like 40-year-old old man strength, rips a bomb like fucking 8 rows deep.
Oh man.
You remember that highlight?
I don't remember that one.
You know, with Matt Stairs? Oh my God, you gotta see that.
Pull it
Hang
up,
on.
Jamie.
Look it up.
JMO.
Hey, guess what? I'm Jamie today.
So
you guys talk
who the
while I
Phillies-
put it on the TV.
I was thinking, who do the Phillies have 8-9? If Schwarber's hitting one,
They had this Rojas guy. I think somebody got injured. He was a center fielder. He was in there only for defense.
what was
and he-
8-9 more like a 1-2 spot? 'Cause
Yeah,
then I mean,
because
it
the
doesn't,
guy-
Yeah,
after
they-
the first
the nine
inning,
guy
it
was
doesn't
super
matter the
fast.
order.
But I feel
right?
like your 9 guy should always be like your second
your
best
second
leadoff
leadoff,
hitter.
right?
Because I feel like 9.
That's kind of who he was. He was a speedy guy,
Yeah,
but he
so-
batted like 100. in the
But he's
postseason. He's in
probably
there for
scary on
defense.
the
Somebody got
bases,
injured,
yeah.
I think. I can't.
It's
you put him
on the
base.
TV if you looking at this Matt Stairs home run off of Jonathan Broxton, who was
I
good back
do
then.
remember
And
this
dude,
play. That's in LA,
rips it with
huh?
old man strength. Like that's an absolute tank.
Dude, yeah, what
Lifted
that,
it, too.
that
That was
guy
a
has the coolest career in baseball.
That guy,
career pinch hitter.
that guy barbecues
Him
for
and
parties
Wes
on the weekends.
Helms.
Wes
Joe
Helms,
Torre
too,
managed
yeah.
for the Dodgers.
Yeah,
oh yeah, that's right. He
yeah,
did that
yeah,
after
yeah.
the Yankees. Then he went to doing like baseball operation stuff.
Yeah, that was a
He looks
that
like
was a
Kyle
bomb.
Schwarber.
So yeah, the Phillies just same old thing. Just get a fat guy who
But-
had bombs.
The Phillies,
They've made it. To the play- they've made it pretty far for a couple
The
years.
Phillies had J-Roll and
I know,
Chase
dude,
Utley back
J-Roll,
then.
Yeah, J-Roll was a stud. They don't make him like J-Roll anymore.
Switch hitting, shortstop with a little bit of
With
pop.
pop, yeah, with pop.
He was a
Justin,
damn
who
good
was
ball
your growing up MLB team or player or whomever, like
So-
that kind of thing, or video game?
Yeah, so
that
I'm
you
sure like
played?
y'all were, Little League, you have like a MLB team you played
Yeah,
for, right?
yeah. So you probably like the first one.
So the first one I ever played for was the Pirates.
And you're how old was it? Kid pitch, coach, T-ball.
At this point, so like T-ball. T-ball, I think I was on the Pirates, and then for like 2 years for T-ball, and then as soon as I went into probably or it was I don't think I had machine pitch that came after.
Yeah, I think
It was like
later.
coach toss, and then it went to like kid pitch. But from there on out, I was on the Braves. So I was a Brave
Chip Jones,
for
old Chippy.
of course.
Of
Chipper
course,
Jones.
dude, everybody loved Chip.
Yeah. Chipper Jones, actually, if you look back at it, the back of his baseball card, he had some speed back in the day.
Yeah.
He had
Yeah.
a couple 20 stolen base seasons.
Yeah, I mean
He played third
what
and
people
short
think
and
about
left, right?
Mostly
and
third.
left field, yeah. But he was probably my all time, and that goes back to I think we were talking about this earlier. But a lot of my hitting mechanics came from watching Chipper Jones. I hit
You
righty
did have that same stance,
like
yeah.
lefty Chipper Jones.
Right.
I didn't look like righty Chipper Jones.
Right,
I
you
looked
did.
more like
Totally,
lefty Chipper Jones.
Totally. Now
Yeah.
I stood
Have you ever told me that?
high.
'Cause I
My
can
hands
see
were
it
always
now.
high. The swing, comes down to
with a bit of the open.
just
to
that's what
close.
I was watching him
Yeah.
on TV as a kid. So of course I'm going to try to look like, and that translated into most of my life. Like I mean, we've looked at pictures, and I've looked at pictures of my batting stance as a sophomore in high school, junior, senior, and then into college, and all four of them are completely different stances.
Same
But
here,
I have
yeah.
pictures
Trying to
of
figure
all
something
four of
out.
those years at point of contact, and it's identical.
Yeah.
So, and then looking back, I'm like, it doesn't matter. Like, we got taught, like, oh, you got to stand like this and be ready and load like this. If you have a natural tendency to get to the ball, it doesn't matter how you're standing there or how you
Yeah.
get there. I had a natural tendency. I knew how to get my body.
Your eye-hand coordination was
generate
good
power
enough. Yeah.
and get contact. And no matter how I was standing, it always looked the same at contact. So it was like, and it's
So
kind
yeah,
of
it makes you
nobody
think
told
like
me that,
it
bro.
makes you think to this is what guys do now. Like the evolution of big leaguer swings, like cutting down movement.
Yeah.
less is more.
Yeah,
you know.
yeah.
So move like because you're getting to the same point. Why
It's
do all this crazy shit?
one movement. should
Yeah.
be-
But
yeah.
everyone swings out their ass now with the whole launch angle thing.
But
And if-
dude,
but if
there
you're
are
good
some
enough,
glorious
you
bombs
should.
though. there are some
you-
glorious bombs.
If you're good enough, you should swing as hard as you can every time.
Yeah.
At that level.
So
at
that's
least.
some guys'
Not-
rule,
though.
I'm not teaching my kid that. But
Nah, dude, I'm
but
teaching my
that's
kid to be a good
that's
hitter.
still not
Yeah.
everybody. That's still like the 0.1 top % of baseball players.
So let me tell you a story. So I think he talked about it a little bit on his podcast. But my brother-in-law Andrew, shout out Andrew, works for a company called Driveline in Seattle. I'm not sure. if
Oh,
you've heard-
yeah.
So they have a lot of big MLB players. That,
I think it's only about this a little bit.
Yeah,
He's
Ohtani,
like
he's one of their
really good
clients.
friend. Ohtani's one of the clients. He's really good friends with Nolan Arenado. Like that's his guy.
They text like
They-
because
yeah.
he gives them a scouting report.
And he
Yeah.
flies him. He flies him to
Cool
games.
stuff.
Andrew went to the World Baseball Classic this year and sat with like Arenado's family in the stands. But anyway, so he does bioanalytics. I mean, that's all the things. It's just how the body works. Like you've seen all like the bubbles,
Yeah.
and the suit you put on, and see how your body works. That's their company. They figure out how to maximize your attack. Maximize your bat speed, ball speed.
that
everything.
makes sense to me. Not
Yeah.
Yeah, they don't care. Well, the story I'm trying to tell is the guys. They have a lot of college guys up in the northwest. I'm sorry, that they do work on like everything, mechanics, blah blah blah. But I asked him one time. I was like, "Well, what does Arenado come in here for?" Because you watch Arenado's stance, his pre everything. It is everything a hitting coach in little league or on in high school tells you not to do. Too much movement. It's not like the angle looks weird, blah blah blah. But you look at him; he gets to the ball as fast as possible,
Yeah.
and he has a really good attack angle.
And his
he
head
does-
his head stays down on the ball for so long.
yeah, his head's just completely.
And his knee's
still,
almost
and
like inverted when he
exactly,
hits.
but it looks wrong.
Yeah.
So I asked Andrew, I was like, "What is he here for? What does he pay Driveline, or what is he getting out of you?" And he was like, he comes in here and all he cares about, he's like, we don't touch a swing, we don't touch anything, we don't even care about what he does. He doesn't want it. He wants to be stronger and faster every year. So he goes in the offseason and he works on getting the bat to the ball as fast as he can, as strong as he can, and be more and more efficient. And I asked him, I was like, well, how many guys in the league out of, like we said earlier, 700-something guys? I'm like, how many guys in the league do that in their offseason that care that much to try to be that much better? And he was like, it would surprise you. And I was like, what do you mean? He was like, hardly any of them do it. Most of these guys are just good enough to be in the MLB.
That
if
makes
they
sense.
wanted to work harder, goes back to like me not working that hard. Some guys are just talented. He's like, they don't.
that
Not
makes
enough
sense.
people take advantage of paying $20,000 in the offseason to be better when you come back.
Yeah.
But a few guys do, and they are putting up numbers the last few years that are unbelievable. And it's all because they are trusting in this science behind bioanalytics, which is something we didn't have. I don't know if you did, but
No.
we didn't. I didn't even heard of. I didn't know my bat speed. I didn't know the ball speed. I didn't know my launch angle. I didn't know anything. I wish I did. I'd love to have seen in my peak how hard I was hitting the ball. I have no idea though. But you know that now. You know how to make it better. These guys can freaking crush the ball. That's why every other at bat is somebody almost hitting the ball out.
Right.
It's crazy.
I was actually watching Julio Rodriguez has a YouTube channel, and I think he went to that same.
Yeah,
I think he went to that same company because he plays for the Mariners.
Main driveline, yeah.
And like one thing I was watching too, when they were watching his swing, they built him a custom bat for his swing.
Yeah,
like
yeah.
special knob,
It's all
the
science,
way
man.
the way it was weighted and everything throughout the
So,
bat.
me and Braden-
So it's not just like how your body works; it's like the bat that fits your
Yeah.
swing.
I wish we had more videos we could cut in right now with some
Yeah.
videos of. But me and Braden went on a snowboard trip, a dude's trip this March. It was
Yeah,
your birthday,
for my
March
birthday,
11th.
yeah.
And met my brother-in-law Andrew up there. Went skiing
he's-
for 3 days in
yeah,
the
he was
mountains.
with us.
Came back down, stayed at his house. His house is a bro pad, dude. It's 2-3 guys that live there that work for Driveline. They're baseball guys. They're in
Yeah.
their 30s. All they know is baseball. It's freaking awesome. It was like heaven for me and Braden. Like we played MLB The Show on a rainy day in Seattle all day.
Yeah.
Then went and toured the Driveline facility. Saw all the jerseys of all these like, holy crap, these are jerseys.
Yeah, they have
of players.
jerseys of not. They didn't
Everybody-
Get
Dude, you should have took some video for me.
We
didn't-
felt weird.
I don't even know if you had the podcast up at the time.
I don't know if I did, but
But we didn't even think
We'll be
I remember
back.
we,
No,
we,
I'll
went,
back
we went
out.
in and we kind of felt weird. We're like, we're
Yeah.
just gonna like bait because we're walking around. There's college players just like ripping a ball off a tee.
There's a guy shirtless,
Surely
pitching a
like
bullpen
working out
with
like
all these probes
just,
on him.
there's just music thumping throughout the place. I'm
Yeah.
like, I would have
Dude.
been so much better if I
Actually,
had
yeah.
somewhere like this to go to.
It's a pad.
Actually-
But I don't have the money to do it either.
Yeah.
so.
So there's this one place down in Boca where it's kind of like that. They have like
I've seen that place.
Yeah, they have some of the science to see your exit velo,
Yeah.
RPMs, radar guns everywhere, and all that. And yeah, it's really interesting.
It's crazy, and there's so much more about it that I didn't until I.
So
my
They
brother-in-law
had D.
done it.
Gordon go through there too.
Yeah. I played against D. Gordon's from Sebring. I played against him in high school.
Oh damn.
Yeah,
Fast
so
as shit.
dude. This right here, we weren't very good. We didn't have anybody come out, but everybody we played has
Yeah.
guys in the league.
But
It's
what I was
crazy.
saying with those facilities, because if you ever go to like a boxing gym, like one half is like the gym
yeah.
with the bags and all that, then the other
Yeah.
half's weight room, and that's what that facility was like down in Boca.
Mm-hmm.
So baseball's kind of like mixing that atmosphere, which I feel like is good for the game.
Yeah, it needs it, yeah.
because it's taking like more of the technical aspects along with like the strength training.
Yeah,
So okay, when we were up there too, so it was the All-Star game was held in Seattle
That
there.
year.
So we were there.
Yeah.
We were there before. So like we were
Baseball town, they don't got much in Seattle.
No, but it's the stadium.
Oh yeah,
So we went,
I love their stadium.
We went downtown and we saw the space. Did a couple of touristy things, and then we got those scooters that you rent.
Yeah.
So we're looking at the we're looking at the space Needle, and we can see the stadium, and we're like mapping it out. We're mapping it out, and we hop on some scooters and we go down to the stadium and kind of just whiz around it with Andrew. Come to find out, Andrew and his company, he ended up throwing BP for the college home run derby that happens during the commercial break,
so
which I never heard of.
I didn't hear about that
So
either.
Justin has some video of him pitching to college guys in front of a full stadium.
Yeah,
How
on the-
cool is
during the
that?
commercial
Man?
break,
Like,
cool.
and he got to hit on the field the day before, right?
yeah. There's
So he,
decent-
dude, what a perk of the job,
yeah,
right?
he was sending me videos of
Man.
him hitting, and I was like, dang, did you? I said, because he's a lefty. And I'm like, you realize you're sitting in the same box that Ichiro sat in for so many
Right.
years. And he was like,
How many
yeah, I felt it.
legends?
He's like, I could barely get the ball like out of the infield.
Dude, yeah, you're shaking,
Yeah.
slinging. Man.
But he's been in a lot of cool places, man. Me and Giffin talk about it all the time. It's like, because he got to know him over that weekend and has met him a few times. But it's like the route he went down. We didn't know we could do that.
I was so jealous. I was
Yeah.
like, I didn't know this was a thing.
I didn't know you could just be a baseball
Yeah,
player for
so-
the rest of your life, but not actually have to play.
But,
Like,
yeah,
he's
I
making
didn't
good
know
money
that-
and learning. He knows so much about
Man.
the sport and just the science side of it, and every little thing about these players. He knows half the players you see on TV. You sit and watch a game with
Yeah.
him. He's like, oh yeah, I just was texting him, or I'm scouting for him. Like he sends somebody a whole scouting report of every pitcher they're going to face. A few guys. Now he's kind of gone up. He's like one of the lead hitting coaches now, so he doesn't have that.
Yeah.
So does it for Arenado. I think he's got Goldschmidt now. But it's just like, it's baseball. And he's an adult, but like,
It's a job.
yeah,
it's
like,
a job.
I still feel like a
No,
kid
it
thinking
is.
about baseball.
That's
It's like,
crazy,
I didn't know
man.
you could do that. I wish I'd have been in that
That'd be
situation.
cool. But also, you know, that's every little boy's dream to keep.
Yeah.
I like what I'm
Keep
doing
it
now.
right.
Things are good. But
Yeah. No, it's definitely cool.
There's just so much room for it. You know, we didn't know. Yeah, no.
And it's growing ever since then.
Evolutions of the game, it's changed a lot. I mean,
can't
even
keep
since
up with
I
it.
was a kid, man.
Yeah, I was watching the game the other day, and I'm like, you know, because I was a catcher, and I probably know more about catching than anything else in the sport as far as a position, you know. And I was watching, I'm like, man, they're doing things now that they taught us not to do. Like I think I told you, it was
Now
like
it-
every college catcher.
Now every catcher's on one knee.
Yeah, and
Now
with
it-
a
Yeah, you
runner
said
on,
that the other day.
You know? And then there
Yeah.
was a few times where it was like, I kept my hand with a runner on. You're worried about him stealing. And you're like,
Behind your glove.
I didn't do that because I didn't like that part. But like that was, you never keep it just out and about. Every college catcher was just had it right there by their groin, and would keep it there. I'm like, man, like I guess they're good enough to like be able to deflect a foul ball, but you hit the top of the hand, you're out.
Yeah.
I always kept mine behind my knee.
broke a
no matter
metacarpal
what, I was
like
right.
that.
I was right here,
Yeah.
and that's just as quick to me than doing
Yeah.
that. So it's but
And if your
I guess
footwork's
now they're
good.
teaching them to keep it like chest to groin, and all of them are keeping it here.
Really?
And I was like, man, just they're going here and they don't follow it. Foul ball, bam. They told me not to do that.
Were you wearing a cup when you were catching?
No.
Yeah,
I don't-
most guys
I
don't.
mean,
What
I
is?
I couldn't move,
dude.
dude.
So uncomfortable.
either.
When would I have gotten the hit in the nuts?
I've
That's
gotten
what I
hit.
felt.
Yeah, I've gotten hit in the nuts
Foul
with
ball
a cup.
up and under.
Yeah.
Where a cup's still going to feel that one.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Straight on, my pants are tight enough to probably deflect
I think
it, or my hand's going
The
to be
cup
there.
immobilizes you too much, right?
Yeah,
okay,
yeah.
so
I hated it.
yeah, I don't know who wears a cup the most position wise. Do you think it should be a catcher?
be
But
catchers.
it should be a catcher.
Probably-
but I don't
probably
think it
still
is.
should. I feel like most catchers
But it's
still wear
not.
one. But
It's probably not.
the science in catch or cups when we were playing wasn't good enough yet. I don't know if it is now. I haven't worn a cup in probably
Yeah.
15 years. But there was no cup you could buy that wasn't uncomfortable. Remember when they came out with the red ones and the blue ones that had like the
Yeah.
rubbers on? And we're like,
And they had, like-
these are like flexible, but they,
They had
still
like
suck.
they had vents in them,
Yeah,
so
yeah,
your nuts
yeah.
could breathe. It's like they didn't work, and then next thing you slide in a second, this thing's poking you in the
Up in-
gooch.
so it's down by your leg. You know, it's
Damn,
like
dude, I gotta shift this thing
cups
around.
are a weird thing. You forget
Yeah,
about.
I
You forget
think the
about.
last time I wore a cup, I can't. It might have been 10 years old.
Yeah,
I remember
right.
trying to pitch with this thing. It looks like I just got a hard on the whole time.
Yeah. I remember the first time you wear one though, you're like,
Hey,
walking around like
This
look at
guy's
this.
gonna fuck us.
Yeah, right. Little do we know then, like nobody wants something that big.
No.
It's not, it doesn't do anybody any good. But I didn't wear a cup. But I did everything else. I was a catcher at heart. Like I did everything that everybody at the time was doing catching wise. Like I was putting tape around my fingers so the pitcher could see it better. But I just
Yeah,
wanted to
or
look
paint
cool.
your
I was wearing
fingernails.
fightins.
Yeah.
I
or-
had two, not fightins.
Yeah, what was
of
your
course I had
rig?
fightins.
So you're behind the dish.
Yeah.
Exo shields.
Are you a two piece mask guy?
Oh yeah, yeah. You'll see in the picture. You'll
He's
see in the
catcher,
picture.
too.
I see in
Yeah.
the picture. It's gonna be a title shot.
All right.
Yeah.
What do you think? Dual wrist tape? That's my thing.
Oh yeah.
Evo shields?
Dual wrist tape.
I had two Evo shields usually, but there's a few.
No,
pictures,
I did straight wrist tape.
there's a few pictures of like
Yeah.
the wrist tape. I'm sure I'd probably just lost my Evo shield, but
Did you go to the trainer before or you yourself?
did myself.
Yeah.
I mean, I was at JUCO, man. Our trainer was probably drunk and not there. We did have like some like intern trainers that would never show up, but wrist tape.
What was the gear, what was the gear
sleeve.
brand?
Gear brand. I
Were
think
you
was
ever a
Easton.
pants up guy?
No, for special things. I like
stirrups?
No stirrups. No.
Like, if the team had stirrups, right?
I think we had one
If
year.
the
we
whole
did
team
that.
was doing it, I would
I
do
did
it.
it, but I hated it. That looked
I didn't
stupid.
like it either.
I was always a pants up guy.
I feel like I had a wedgie on my knees.
I didn't like it. Yeah, I
Dude.
was tight pants. I was tight at the calves. I wasn't like the baggy,
High socks
Good
always
cup.
make you look so fast.
But
Not
yeah,
for me,
yeah,
though,
Yeah.
Yeah.
It doesn't help.
They're like,
yeah.
damn.
Didn't help my 60.
He's like, this guy should be faster. All right, so it was Easton gear, two-piece helmet.
Helmet.
Oh, brand of glove.
Yeah, that's the next
So
thing I go to.
my high school, I rocked a 2000. Took like
Catcher's
six.
glove?
Yeah,
dick.
catcher's mitt.
We're Rollins guys. So.
Come
I
on.
never, no, see, I'm not
Not for a
wrong.
catcher's
I never
glove,
had a
though,
wrong
honestly.
glove.
I'm so glad you're on that side of the
I
table.
never had a wrong glove in my life. A2000 in high school, and then I think you talked shit about it before, but catcher's mitt which is what they bought me. I was like, we were sponsored
okay.
by Mizuno. I had a Mizuno catcher's glove.
Yeah,
loved it. It
Mizuno's
broke in
gotten
fast,
better.
and it stayed.
Like-
it stayed. That it didn't get too broken.
Formula.
It stayed.
How'd you like it? Did you like a deep pocket? Did you curl the end in? Because Ryan did that, and I liked that.
Yeah, when you're breaking,
You
folding
curl
it
the
out.
end
Yeah.
in? Did you
The
do
pocket?
that? Like, you curl this side in.
Yeah, like the gloves
Oh
on your
yeah,
hand.
that was
Yeah,
probably
so it's
my.
like almost
every
like a
time I'm
scoop.
touching it, I'm curling every part of it inwards.
Yeah.
I don't
So
remember.
it's not like
Okay.
a huge pocket, right?
What I remember about it is I liked it because it didn't have a huge pocket and I could get the ball out fast.
Yeah.
I remember how it differed from the A2000 was once the A2000 was broken in, how it felt good. The pocket got too deep too. I think I remember. I had to in college especially. I had two guys that threw 95 plus all over the place. my glove was destroyed. My body was destroyed, but my pocket I had to get restrung probably twice in college because it had two guys that threw 95.
It's a lot
to a Mizuno like just players level.
If you're catching
glove,
it in the web, too.
It wasn't built for.
No, you got to have like a heart of the hide for that.
Yeah. No, I'm not a Rawlings guy.
All right, when you played the field, flare the glove.
Hey, what glove?
Yep.
So my infield glove was a TPX flare.
Those are good, dude.
Yeah,
my buddy Kevin had one.
The brand that says flare on it.
It started off.
How are those?
It was good. Kevin had
awesome.
one, dude, and it came flared, and obviously you could manipulate it more. But I loved it, dude.
It was good.
So,
I wonder if he still
did
has
any of
that.
you guys have you seen that new brand going around, the 44?
I've seen it on the wrist guard.
I was just wondering if either of you guys tried that out because I've seen a lot more people using those. But I still see most of people using like Rawlings and A2000.
Yeah,
What
I
kind of
never
bat
had a
were you
Rawlings
using?
bat.
Oh yeah, wood bat. What's your brand?
Wood bat. Ooh, that's a good one.
I didn't have a brand. So in college, we were sponsored by Easton and
So were we,
Marucci, but they didn't have Marucci BB cores then.
No.
So all our catcher's mitts were.
That's my last bat I had.
Marucci. Yeah.
Marucci's
But-
the tits.
Yeah.
When I went to college, I think me and Giffin got a really bad deal with our age group. Our senior years when the state of Florida went to BB core. So I think we've talked about this. I think
BB core, like honestly, when that switched, you might as well just use wood.
yeah, it was terrible.
Yeah.
So my
core
freshman
shit.
year of my senior year of high school and my freshman year of college was BB core. So and all the bats changed. All of a sudden there was new brands that had good BB core bats. So I know I used
The biggest one I saw going around because I was in like kid pitch around 12 years old was the 5150s, the silver
the
ones.
red-
Those drop tanks.
red and silver, right?
And the Marucci Cat 3.
didn't have that. No.
Marucci Cat 3s were
don't know
fucking.
that one.
Those actually, I think they got banned.
White and
yes.
red? Yeah.
And it went.
Yeah, a lot of white.
Yeah.
A lot of white.
I think a couple of lives got lost to that bat.
I used
they had too much pop.
I used the Easton yellow and black. I can't remember what it was. It was kind of a two-piece. It was the
so
Easton yellow and black BB core.
What's your favorite pre-BB core bat?
Oh,
Little
yeah.
League even too.
So I feel like
There's some
the
bats that
memory
feel
of
like
the
that
feeling of a
compressed air
bat
in
like
it,
just
yeah.
was the EXO.
EXOs
It was
are
like the
great.
EXO
blue.
grid?
It was a blue.
yeah.
Mizuno,
with a little bit
the
of yellow
Mizuno
in it.
Voodoo was a good bat.
I never had. Was that Mizuno?
I don't know.
That was
no.
It was the black and white one?
DeMarini.
DeMarini.
Voodoo.
Yes,
Like a
DeMarini.
And then
Voodoo.
remember had the numbers on the top when you're breaking the bat in. You're supposed to turn it
Yeah,
every little
yeah.
bit so you break it in.
Those sounded like shit though to me. But
they hit
They
bombs.
did feel
They
good.
hit
But it's
bombs, dude.
like
if you broke, I remember this. We had this one bat on our. It was our team bat. You had team bats in high
Yeah,
school.
yeah. I never had my own bat.
They had. Yeah, I
was a
neither
poor
did
kid.
I. My last own bat was before high school, but we had the Voodoo, and I remember Ryan Church. Me and him we used the same bat, so we're hitting this thing had cracked on the barrel so much that the bat barrel had almost become square, and then
You're still using
so we're still
it was
using
still
it.
hot?
So the umpires would come out. I don't know if they did this year.
Oh, yeah.
but
Always
they would
check the
come
bat-
check the bats
check the
and
5 or
helmets,
6
right?
bats out there. Yep,
Yeah.
yep.
So we put it, and I just turn around the crack to the dark side of the
Is that
stadium.
something- get away with it?
Yeah, we got away with it. We got
Yeah.
away with it. One time we got it thrown out.
Which
but
is unbelievable that
Yeah.
a cracked bat, either y'all were just stupid enough to believe it, or it actually still
I
was
think we
better
were
pop than
stupid
everything
enough to
else.
believe
Like,
it because
probably-
honestly,
it's like it had
if
this
it's
many
cracked,
home runs.
it probably lost its integrity since it's
course.
cracked metal. But
Yeah.
our thought was it's a square, you know.
But you don't got to hit
Probably
a ball.
put a dent on the ball.
You don't have to hit a
and-
ball hard to win games.
Yeah, no,
Batting
no,
gloves?
No.
Yes, I was batting
I
gloves.
was
I know that
zero
Braden was
batting
not,
gloves.
but I wore. I had no affinity to batting gloves.
right.
But
What was
I
the
wore
reason for batting gloves, though? Can you guys tell me for both of you?
Why
Why
I
did
could
you
swing
do it?
harder?
Really?
I feel like I hit
I
the ball harder.
didn't use batting gloves a lot, but when I did, it's because my hands just got too sweaty.
Sweaty, yeah.
I
wanted-
pine
didn't
tar
wanna feel
dirt.
it.
I was
I
sweaty.
didn't want
too.
to feel.
Still too
Look at
sweaty.
my Ruchi now, dude.
No, I know.
Pine tar on.
I know.
I had pine tar and batting gloves.
And on my helmet over there, it's filled with pine tar. I would
But
stick my.
still, for me, my hands got too sweaty. Like my teammates in men's league don't want to use the catcher's gear after me. It's like I jumped in the
I
pool.
remember when we were playing pro ball, Boosty, I was selling baseball gear out of the stuff. A guy in the last episode, he was the guy who like taught us all our fundamentals, and he would have batting gloves and baseball gloves, and we'd buy shit off him. And he had these batting gloves that had like right in here like this extra foam thing on it. And I remember hitting with it, and then I remember feeling like I couldn't tell if I hit the ball hard. So ever since then, I never used batting gloves. Like I wanted to kind of know.
But you weren't. I think we talked. You weren't a home run hitter. You were placed the ball line drives in the outfield, right?
Yeah, doubles guy at best.
Yeah. See, I was swinging. I'm like we were talking about these guys. Like I was swinging as hard as I can. I'm trying to hit a home run every time.
I was trying
Wasn't
to hit the
the
ball
right
as hard as I
tactic,
could every time, but not out of the stadium or out of the park necessarily.
I guess, I don't know exactly how I
So
felt, but-
were you a pine tar guy?
Yeah. If I needed it. If I had
And-
good gloves and a good grip.
Let's not lie, it looks good too.
Because
Yeah,
I was the same. I was the same with pine tar. I'd tar up everything I could.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But, I would if it was, we had a stick, I'd use it. But I wasn't like, do it for the show of it. But also as a catcher. When you're a catcher, you
Yeah.
can't have pine tar over you.
Yeah.
If you want to give your pitcher a little
can't-
laugh.
Yeah, but I already had the yips. We've talked. I had the
we're-
yips as a catcher, so
yeah.
I didn't need any extra sticky on my hands
True
to
that,
make
yeah.
a ball to back the
Start
pitcher.
thinking
works.
about that.
But yeah, let's talk about the yips. You ever gotten to the yips on your podcast?
Yeah, I talked about it in my case. Mine actually wasn't with throwing; it was with fielding.
Oh man,
Really?
My hands-
Fielding was the easiest.
I
thing for
probably
me.
always had with fielding because I was never good at it, but I didn't know it was the yips.
Yeah, for mine, it wasn't throwing; it was fielding the ball. My hands got stiff for a while because it was when I first got moved up to varsity. I was just nervous and
Just everything-
couldn't feel the
everything's
same.
popping off.
Yes, that was the yips I experienced.
And that's when you go from like at varsity, high school is when you go from you can't get away with dropping a ball. You don't have the time anymore.
And
Yeah.
Like kids are getting
Yeah, it's
fast
just
enough to run that out every day.
because the biggest thing with baseball is just like the skill gaps. It
Yeah.
gets so much tighter each level. Then on varsity, you're facing some legit dudes, guys throwing hard, guys going to D1, guys getting drafted.
Yeah, especially on the East Coast, we are.
Yeah, no, in South Florida, you're facing some dudes. Like I played against plenty of guys who got drafted. I pitched against Jonathan India my junior year.
No shit. So that's
Yeah.
one of my favorite. Speaking of that, going back to like swing mechanics and stuff, Jonathan India is one of my favorite swings you could see, and I think I like it because it reminds me
familiar
of
with
how
that
I
one,
felt
okay.
like I was.
Throw him up on there. I'm not familiar.
So he
Oh,
played
Jonathan.
he played
was
at
the rookie
UF.
of the year in what 21 for the
Yeah,
Reds.
he played at UF, and he was just a small dude, nothing special. I think he was third base, shortstop, Florida. I want to say.
Yeah, second baseman now in the big
Second now,
leagues.
but he was short at Florida. Won a title with Florida. I think in 2018, 17, 18.
Yeah, he played with Pete Alonso.
Yep, Pete Alonso. But he was just his swing is just so. The way if you watch a slow motion video of Jonathan India's swing, it is the most beautiful mechanics I think I can.
but I
see.
can't place this.
He's nothing special. Like, unless I'm a Florida fan, so
What?
Cincinnati.
Yeah, he's still in the
Still,
Reds.
yeah.
Yeah, he's like a
Still
big
in the
league.
Reds? What position?
Yeah, second base.
Second
He's a
base.
good big league ball player. He's
He's
a
a
rookie of the
good- he's a
year.
hitter,
He's
man.
got 20 homer power.
Yeah.
Solid
Small
big
guy,
league
though.
ball
I mean,
player.
he's our size, if not smaller. He has, but in college, I remember watching him, thinking like, this guy's just a ball player.
Yeah.
He's not anything special at the moment, but
This is a deep. This is that's Ozzy Albies. This is a
what's
defensive
there?
highlight.
Hey,
Yeah, he's. Come on, hitting highlight. There we go.
you got to see it in slow motion.
He just looks like a grit dude. Yeah.
You gotta- yeah,
guys
he's
that
quick.
keep their
He's
hands in
really
the
fast to the
man.
ball, which Florida.
I mean,
I'm not-
for a second baseman, he's pretty big.
the University of Florida seems to do a really good job at making guys really fast to the ball.
And Harrison Bader went there too.
Yeah, I mean they had fucking some legends.
They've had dudes.
They've got that Wyatt Langford. I think I was telling Giffin about this.
Oh, that guy that was the two-way. He
he
threw
went to
like
the Rangers.
99.
Yeah, he just got drafted. He got drafted by the Rangers.
Oh, did he?
Yeah.
I didn't know he went that
Yeah,
way.
first round.
I
So
thought was he a junior? I thought no.
probably, but he still got drafted.
Couldn't he? I thought
You can get drafted as a junior.
really. Oh man, I don't know. The
So
rules.
he,
yeah.
but he played
After
Florida
your
this year.
junior
But
year.
this kid has the shortest, beefiest arms. And they had all these mechanic videos during
His
the
dad's a
College World
bodybuilder.
Series. Yeah,
Really?
just
Yeah.
short. But the way he could get to the ball, he got to the ball because of his short arms, like so much faster than anybody else could. And he creates strength just with his arms. Like he does a good job using his body, but he doesn't even need it.
Yeah.
Like he can rope the ball. Just he can get. His biggest thing was he could get beat on a changeup, his body would be all the way out of it, completely gone from the swing, and his arms could readjust and still rope a ball.
yeah, that's kind of how I feel like. Vladdy was like that. Dan
Yeah.
Uggla was like that. Just like
Ooh, that
strong
was a good
guys
one.
that
Yeah,
can use
that
their
was good.
forearms. Yeah.
One thing I feel like now with pitching that's really changed a lot is like there's not really a big speed gap in pitches.
No,
like,
man, everything's hard. Yeah.
Yeah, like-
power curve.
like
power yeah.
Zach Gallen, he tops 95, but his changeup's 90, and his curveball is about 85. It's like most of the pitchers in the major leagues now have like a 5 to 10 mile per hour speed gap, so
Yeah.
you can sit on a consistent velocity now.
Right.
Yeah, it's harder to. It's harder to. Another little stat that my brother-in-law Andrew told me that surprised me a couple weeks, or probably a year or two ago. He was telling me that the ML. What do you think the MLB demand percentage is? Pitchers in the MLB, what their command percentage? Like, how often do they hit their spots?
Oh, I think I actually saw a stat. It was pretty low.
It's very low. It's like only less than 20% of the time they actually place a ball within a range they're actually trying to throw.
Yeah.
So it's like, but if you're good enough to throw movement and nasty enough.
Yeah,
if
that's why
you miss, you're
like,
still a good pitcher.
Because
Sure.
hitting, you miss 20% of
'Cause it's-
Oh, yeah,
only get,
yeah.
You're
It's
not
always
good.
pitcher advantage.
Yeah, exactly.
Because back in the day, like especially with the rise in velocity, you see guys. If you threw 95 back then, you weren't throwing a two seam. But now it seems
No.
like everyone's throwing a two seam or a sinker
Yeah.
now. And one thing I feel like there's a difference between a two seam and a sinker because
There is.
everyone lost them in the same category. A two seam, the main difference I say with it, but the main difference I see with it is you can throw a two seam up, but not a sinker.
In real life, in a video game, you can throw a sinker up and it's the hardest thing to hit. Remember playing the show, dude?
Yeah.
They have guys
But
in the show.
but
that'll
a sinker,
throw.
if you leave it up, it flattens out.
Exactly.
A two
but not
seams.
in a video game, dude. Because
Yeah,
in a
not in
video
a-
game, it looks like it's up and then it breaks hard
Yeah.
up and in, and then that's how you strike guys out in the show online.
Well,
Up and in high
no,
sinkers.
in the show you strike out everyone with up and in fastball.
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah, but yeah, I'm not familiar with even the difference between because as a catcher, I had guys that threw a two seam and I had guys that threw a sinker, and from right on the arm, it's
Still going that
it's,
same route.
It's,
But
it's not
see-
that much different as a catcher.
I see a sinker as more horizontal. Or, I
Yeah.
mean, a sinker as more vertical and a two seam more horizontal.
Yeah, it's
But
going to
you
be an
got-
arm angle thing too.
Yeah.
Say you got guys in
Because a sinker more like this, and then a two seam more kind of like that.
flat,
you know what I mean?
yeah.
But if you throw from here to here, you're going to have a
I'm
different.
gonna say,
Yeah.
but if a college guy in a JUCO
But-
throws a two seam and misses it by this much, it's
One-
a, it's a
one
sinker.
interesting thing-
it looks
Right.
like it's you don't.
Yeah.
You know,
One
it's
kind of
like-
interesting thing I've heard is some people say like now the big league guns are juiced by +5.
I heard
I mean,
they read them out of the hand now instead of to the plate.
at the plate, so you're
Oh,
getting like 2
yeah.
miles an hour.
So
Yeah.
that's one thing I was thinking like. Is the velocity that much harder? And overall, yes,
From
but
what
so
I
like
understand,
everyone
it's out of
throwing,
the hand and not like the radar.
But
gun used to be
everyone-
behind the catcher now it tracks it out of the hand.
but
by
everyone
some
throwing
crazy
like
thing.
100 now. I mean,
Yeah,
because there's
We're all
guys.
having 105, right?
Yeah, I mean there was guys back then throwing hard like Billy Wagner, Kurt Schilling, Randy Johnson. There was guys pumping Ched back in the day too.
96 to 98 was cheddar cheese.
yeah,
when we
it
were
looks all
growing
this
up.
after
Yeah.
96. It looks the same. To
And
me.
then
It's
105. What does that
untouchable.
even mean? Nobody knows.
Yeah.
And imagine the movement on 105. You know,
I have no
whether
idea.
it's
Yeah.
got to move a
I
shit ton.
have no
It's either got to rise or I mean, you get that much
It's
speed.
gonna
with
get an
anything,
arm side run.
You're getting more movement with more speed, so it's like I don't even want to sit in the box for 95. I mean 105.
Yeah,
I wouldn't want to sit there. I'm not going to touch
maybe
it.
once if I knew it was going to be a strike.
Yeah, I want to see it, but I want to know it's not going to hit me.
Actually, I want to train so I can try to put the barrel on this thing.
Yeah,
Give me a month.
If you got the barrel on it, that shit is flying.
I know. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know what I would do if I sat in the box for a whole count. I'd probably strike out the first
Right
like
now, it'd
7
probably look
times.
so ridiculous.
I'd have to,
you know?
yeah. I've no.
Yeah. But dude,
Like I saw a guy in men's league throwing 85. I was like, "Fuck, that is
I can't keep
Ched."
up.
You
I
know
can't
what I
keep
mean?
up with it.
It's tough when you see it because like most guys in men's league, you're seeing like mid, upper 70s, occasional 80.
Yeah. Yeah, nobody's. I mean, if you're throwing 90s in men's league, you shouldn't be in men's league.
Yeah, I
Because
mean,
you know what I'm saying? Like, you
probably
still got
play,
some talent left.
Pro ball,
but you
and
get some
indie
of those
ball
guys
at
who
a
are
certain
still
level.
like playing more than just Sunday league. They're in teams that do like men's
Yeah,
league
yeah.
tournaments.
Yeah. I mean, anybody.
Because there's still a men's league World Series. Like Roger Clemens pitched in it like
I've seen it
10 years ago.
Yeah, I've seen something like that.
But it's at that point, it's like you're just risking
Yeah,
injury.
that
man.
guy has a fast food name, Carl Edwards Jr.
yeah, he is.
Actually, that's kind of a funny thing. We were talking about this like a little earlier today. What's a funny baseball name? Just like ridiculous ones. Because one of mine,
What was
Mordecai Three Fingers Brown.
The Devil
they
all
has
had
got a
some
bunch of
kind
them, but
Yeah.
the most recent one I can think of is like Pee-wee Reese. Almost doesn't sound real.
Yeah.
You know?
yeah?
That sounds like
Because all their names were like John or something, so they had to make a cool
The
nickname. for
old
them.
names would be like old Tommy Two Thumb.
Who's the guy that
Hey,
the Irish guy?
You
the
know that guy?
Irishman, like,
You know that guy Joe Jackson? Yeah, he took his shoes off. Shoeless
Shoeless
Joe.
Joe, yeah.
What a fucking jackass.
yeah.
You know
Fucker
what?
can't even read.
I heard he was a
Ban
witch.
him.
His wife is a witch.
Yeah.
One time I went by his house, she showed me her upper thigh.
yeah,
Fucking slut.
yeah, burner. But yeah, I don't remember. I mean, what was the guy? We had him on MLB The Show when we were playing it a bunch.
Ralph Kiner?
No, it's
Yeah.
the same team, but the other guy, I can't remember his name. He's a Hall of Fame guy.
What? Give me some context.
Dude, I don't remember. He played like the outfield.
Honus Wagner?
Honus Wagner.
Okay,
shortstop.
the Flying
yeah,
Dutchman.
Yeah, Flying Dutchman. It's like, it's just like, I said Irishman. I was trying to
And like back then, man, my best player, lost a finger to a wood chipper, so.
Yeah, right. So his two-seam breaks a lot more because his finger's not there. You get more knuckle on it. It was a true knuckleball. He was the last true knuckleball.
Yeah, because all the tops of his fingers got chopped off, so all he's got are his knuckles.
Yeah.
You get a little more drop if there's some blood on it.
Right.
Lines up the door knockers real nice.
But yeah.
So
a different era of baseball.
Yeah.
All coal miners and shit.
None of them, they weren't good. Those guys weren't that good.
Like, honestly, dude,
Give me that bat.
if you look at Babe Ruth's old footage, he looks.
Yeah, right.
Ty Cobb,
Yeah.
hell of a bat.
Yeah, like,
oh yeah,
because
he was the best there ever.
Yeah.
Oh yeah,
because no
curveball.
Actually, no, I give him a hockey puck.
Exactly.
True.
Because when you look at guys like that now, and people are like, yeah, they'd last now. No, they fucking wouldn't.
Well, okay. The argument is though, like, all right, the
Pitchers would have a better shot.
they'd have a better shot, but like,
Would
okay,
they?
Bob Gibson's a stud.
Yeah.
Mickey Mantle's a stud.
No, some guys would transcend
But
the
you have
game.
to
Yes,
say,
there's
if
always
you
that.
Babe Ruth was an extraordinary
Of his era.
But so if you put him into then what do you do now? I don't think Babe Ruth is the best example of that.
I don't think he had the work ethic to be as good as he could have been.
Yeah,
you know?
he was just trying to get drunk and
Yeah.
dude.
Dude's like, man, I hit one of the 5 balls I saw.
He was the best. He was the best at the time. Why would he need to work harder to be any better? He was already the best.
What's weird about
Or,
that era
you know,
for me is like,
close
all right,
to it.
so,
But when you take that skill set, those mechanics and all that to nowadays,
Doesn't look good.
no.
so you got to wonder
Especially
what the
pitching.
pitching's
That's what I'm
like
saying.
back
I don't think that pitchers transcend as well either because
Well,
like we were talking about, like stupid windups, like just wasted energy, and they throw it 85 down the middle and
They're
you
doing
strike out.
that. They're doing
No,
that to
but-
loosen up the cartilage.
Yeah, right. Most of that's a
100
ball.
the day
You're balking
before.
every other time. Yeah, they need more. It's like, geez, stay on the rubber, dude. Jeez, you're like halfway to the plate by the time you throw the ball.
Exactly.
Of course, you're throwing 85. You're like 75 for back.
No,
then.
but the funny thing with Honus Wagner, when they talked about, he did one of these, got the rotator cuff nice and loose, because when guys throw harder, you can hear like the tss on the ball. But they did like some like fucking experiment, and he threw 88.
Yeah.
You talking
You're not
about
hearing
Walter Johnson, not Honus Wagner?
Yeah, sorry, Walter
yeah,
Johnson.
yes.
Yeah, the train.
Flying Dutchman, yeah.
The train's a good nickname.
Yeah, that is a good nickname. So is D-Train.
What was your nickname?
It's probably about your last name?
Yeah.
Or your,
Knight.
D-Train,
Everybody was
is it
Knight. JK. Everybody called me JK.
Yeah,
It was
I
J
mean,
Knight.
because
Yeah.
normally baseball players go by the last name. Knight's a good one.
Yeah, I
that's
didn't
a
have any
good
special
That's a
like
good one.
wrestling middle, the stone wall.
Yeah, the
Knight,
stone wall.
you know?
The backstop.
Yeah, I wish.
Yeah, that would have been great, dude. That's a great nickname.
Yeah, no, nothing special. Just very average guy. Try to be that way. Yeah,
Aren't we all?
Yeah.
We're all here in the Beat Lab doing a podcast.
man,
Yeah.
it's awesome. We'll play some music later.
Yeah.
Maybe we'll video a little bit of that just for a little,
Yeah, we can
B-roll.
throw
Just a
that in
B-roll.
there. You got a funny story to send us out on? We've had many stories about
So I do have
Johnson's.
I do have it's not as funny, but I haven't gotten to it yet, which is my main thing. But about how
right,
Fernando Tatis's grandpa was my hitting coach, and
Okay.
throughout my childhood.
So, did you ever meet him? And
No, so he didn't even. I don't think he's ever met him. So Fernando
No.
Tatis Sr. is kind of a complicated story. You can look it up on YouTube. If you look up Fernando Tatis Jr. finding his father, it's like a big story they did in like the mid 2000s about he finally met up with his son. Well, my whole childhood I played with a kid named Malik, freak athlete, Malik Tatis. They're Dominican, complete just freak. Was better, bigger, stronger than all of us throughout our lives. Just so good. His dad was an alcoholic painter in the area that played for everybody was this big,
I
back
love
then,
these stories.
Back then you
best,
didn't know. It was like we everybody knew he played for the Astros at some point in the 80s or something. We didn't know. You couldn't look it up on, I mean, you probably could. We didn't have our phone. We didn't have internet. So
Yeah,
we were just like, yeah, Fernando played, he couldn't speak any English hardly. He called us all Mr. Good Hitter. It was just Mr. Good Hitter, Mr. Good Hitter. He would just try to show you, but he didn't really know how to tell you because he didn't speak very good English. I always showed up smelling like liquor. At the time, I talked to my dad about this a couple months ago, and I was like, why didn't you ever tell me like Fernando was always drunk? He was like, you didn't smell it on him? I was like, I didn't know what alcohol smelled like as a 12-year-old.
that, son.
I just was, I
What
thought
are
it was
you?
a different smell.
You're
it
a
was
fucking
it was
jackass.
it was a pungent smell, but I didn't know it was.
Man, this guy really needs to take a bath.
But he taught all of us so much. I still have a lot. I mean, I would like to say that a lot of my
like the base of your hitting, probably.
yeah. So I remember his theory being just all the movement should be to hit the ball. It wasn't about strength. It was about getting a good angle on the ball, being able to get your body right, so no matter where the pitch is at, you can put the bat on it.
Yeah.
And that's the perfect thing you can teach a kid, because then you can create strength later. We weren't big enough or old enough to be strong to be able to hit it hard.
Yeah.
But you can teach me how to get to the barrel of the bat on any pitch if I just take the same swing every time and can adjust. That's all it is. And he was really good at that. But so his his son,
courage.
Right. He had no idea what he was talking about. He didn't even probably know where he was at. But so his son was Fernando Tatis. So he was Fernando Tatis. His son isn't a junior because he left his son like early on, like in the Dominican, came to Florida, left his ex-wife or something with Fernando Tatis, which played for the Expos. He's the only guy to have ever hit 2 Grand Slams 1 inning.
Yep.
Put it up, Jamie.
Thanks.
So if you look it up, it's like the only guy. If he played for the Dodgers at the time, he hit. Or he's either playing for the Dodgers or playing against the Dodgers. I don't remember exactly, but remember the clip. He was at Dodger Stadium, 2 Grand Slams 1 inning. Only guy to ever do it. Played for the Cardinals a little bit. Played for a few other teams. He was just a good player, and so that was his son. And he rekindled his relationship with him, I guess, like towards the end of Fernando Tatis' MLB career. They met back up. I met him a few times as our childhood. So then Fernando Tatis Jr., which isn't recognized as junior, had a son now who's Fernando Tatis Jr. Obviously, everybody knows plays for the Padres. Mm-hmm. So it's the same family line, the lineage. I'm like, from little old Wauchula, Hardy County Wildcats. Right. My hitting coach as a child was his drunk grandpa that knew what he was talking about. He played in the league himself. I mean, he had hurt his arm pitching. And
it's so funny, like, the amount of baseball guys that have a tie to the big leagues that are spread among the country, it could be anywhere.
You never know
until
you just talk to him.
And it doesn't even have to be a baseball guy. It could just be some guy that taught you something.
Yeah, and some things hit, some things don't.
Yeah,
right.
And some guys are full of shit, and some guys aren't.
I like to say that.
So I imagine him throwing BP to you in a 5-gallon painting bucket.
Yes, no. So he was always wearing all the white Dickies, like what painters wear. Yeah, because you can just bleach them and get or you can see all the paint. It was always covered in like paint from the week, and would show up, roll his sleeves up, and just sit on a bucket and. Mr. Good Hitter. Just like, and we're like, all right. We knew that he knew more than our dads. I mean, my dad was the other coach, and he had never played baseball in his life.
Your dad was a cowboy.
He was only coaching me because he was like,
and he
exactly, because they're not going to let some other dad coach him tell him the wrong thing. It's it's a good dad,
somebody
good
who
father.
Can do it. Yeah.
Hopefully I hate to say it, but I probably will end up coaching my son if he plays baseball, but I don't want to.
Ryan was bringing this up to me yesterday. He don't want to listen. Miles don't want to listen to Ryan at all.
Exactly.
So
that's why I don't want to do it. Because I didn't listen to my dad.
He listens to McKay and he listens to me.
Yeah. So like I've been his main hitting coach, but I think it'd still be good for you to have at least some control in the sense that because like
I think
with Ryan's team. He's a coach, like you said. Miles doesn't listen, but Ryan can still teach the other dads and the other kids about how baseball works.
Yes,
and I feel like that's the invaluable part is that you're learning baseball from people who have been through the grind.
Yeah. What do you think it is about like being a kid like that? Because we've all done it, where you're like. Obviously, Ryan has a pretty good baseball career. He's a very knowledgeable baseball guy and all that, but Miles doesn't seem to buy into that. Like, why doesn't the kid buy into that?
Part of it too is
it's just because he's your dad.
But part of it too is Ryan's patience with him can get a little short.
Well, which I don't blame. I'm sure
also,
it's hard.
But also when you're 7, like when I give him lessons, it's so much repetition about the same thing.
Same thing, yeah.
And they don't
I was teaching him yesterday.
Like
kids lose interest. Though.
No, I'll do that with him. But like, because I even told him like, because like I've gone through like mostly with his load, and he's like, sometimes they don't know what I'm doing wrong, so they need that constant reinforcement. Because like one phrase I want to die so bad in the baseball world is baseball ready. It's fucking nails on a chalkboard.
Explain what do you mean? What is your definition of that?
No, when people say the expression "baseball ready,"
but what McKay's saying is like these
don't teach
these parents who don't really know anything. Just like the thing they say to help their kid from the stands, be baseball ready.
They'll just like, "Come on, Angels, baseball ready." I'm like, no.
What they mean is like be down and ready for the ball and an athletic position.
I get that, but they're also 7. Challenge them, challenge them mentally. Like if a guy's on second with no outs, check the runner at third, go 1. Still implant that stuff in their brain at a young age.
Vernacular, start thinking like a baseball mind.
Don't exactly.
Coach,
Don't learn it all when you're
because it might be over their head a little bit, but it will help them so much more down the road if they're somewhat familiar with it.
Yeah,
and I feel like that's the obligation you should have from like youth baseball, not just baseball ready.
Not just
because at the end of the day,
have a good time.
Do they understand what baseball ready means?
I don't even know what it means.
Exactly.
You're saying. I think it's like one of those like fluff things parents say because they don't know what to say.
Yeah.
Be baseball ready or swing at good pitches. Well, no shit. Swing at good pitches.
One thing that was really aggravating when I played like at that early of an age, parents would just cheer on a pop fly.
Yeah.
Like, no.
If you hit the ball hard, like,
Because-
Yeah,
So,
but
like,
if you just hit a fucking
I hope
pop
I
up,
don't
like,
cheer.
come
Yeah.
on.
I hope I don't. When
No,
my
you-
son finally hits
Like,
a
'cause
pop fly,
one
I
of the
hope I'm
best
not
swings-
the dad that's like, yes.
One of the best
Yeah, I don't
swings-
want to be, but
touched
it's probably still nice to see.
One of
you
the
know?
best-
yeah, but
Yeah,
get
but-
to yourself.
Strike out.
Push it down.
Yeah.
One of my
Yeah.
favorites, one of my favorite hits I saw Miles get was it was like a pitch, little middle away. He pieced it up the middle. The ground's here, ball was like this high up, went into the outfield,
Right
just
there,
like
yeah.
barrel up the middle.
Yeah.
That's hitting.
Yeah, I love
Yeah,
it.
yeah, and that's a feeling that he felt that he will remember. He
Yeah.
wants, he will want to recreate
Well,
that.
dude, it's so funny watching him because like that's all he cares about now.
Yeah, that's
like
cool.
yesterday we had our baby shower and all he played catch with every guy there that would play catch
I know.
with him as long as he
I
could.
launched it over his head. He had to go and rub
Yeah.
into a truck yesterday. I was
Yeah.
like, I'm out. Dude.
Yeah,
I need to get to warm up.
it's just it's a fun thing to watch.
I'm like, dude, we're out of keg, or come on, give me a break.
But yeah, it's cool though, man.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
when you that's the kind of thing that when you're a little kid that has your glove and has another glove and wants to play catch at some random event.
When you're a
that kid's
kid,
gonna be successful,
yeah. And you
'Cause he
wanna-
loves it enough to want to do it at a random time.
Yeah.
And also, I want to be the guy that'll play catch with him because I remember being the guy that wanted to play
And
catch and nobody
yeah.
wanted to play catch.
Me and you, I
Yeah.
know you. I know
Yeah.
you the same way. I'll always be ready.
Always, yeah.
You got a glove and a
Dude,
ball.
let's
Yeah.
compete- yeah.
Hey, you little kid, man, I'm
I
throwing.
played catch with him, but you got to have some people going out. It was hot.
yeah. Well, we rotated
Yeah,
out.
between the three of us, yeah, plenty of people to play catch with.
Yeah, man. Shit.
All right, guys, you want to plug anything before we sign off?
I've got nothing to plug.
Yeah,
No
we're not
dates.
players. Yeah, no dates. Yeah, maybe next October.
Every other-
right here in
every
this
October.
beat lab, probably.
Yeah, well, we'll see you next time at the Beat Lab.
Man.
You got anything to care? Check it out.
Yeah, no, just check it out.
All right,
Signing off.
onward.
Peace out.